Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm gonna do something a little bit different than I've done before. I am going to be recreating a look by Jordan Liberty, and I am wearing it right now. And I am going to be using the Anastasia Prism palette to do so. And I will do a quick review at the end, just my overall thoughts. I know that there's been a lot of product launches and Anastasia has had some controversy, we'll call it, with the palette that she released right before this, the Subculture palette. I don't have the Subculture palette, so I can't compare, but like I said, I will give you my thoughts on the Prism palette in addition to this eye tutorial. If you want to see how I got this look, please keep watching. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and start by priming my eyes. You can see that my brows are already done, and I am trying to mimic this look, like I said, by Jordan Liberty. And you can see her eyebrows. They definitely are different than the way that mine typically look. Since there is a dramatic angle to the look, I'm going to do my eyeshadow first and then go ahead and clean it up with a makeup wipe. Okay, so to prime my lids, I'm going to start off with a little bit of concealer. I'm going to use the Tarte Shape Tape. I'm just going in with a concealer brush. I'm tapping it in with my lemon drop sponge, and I'll be sure to link all of the products that I use in the description box down below. And for reference, this is in the shade Light. I'm gonna set that with my RCMA No Color Translucent Powder. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna start off by putting an all over powder foundation all over my eyelid to create a nice little canvas. And I'm going in with my Morphe 518 brush. Any fluffy brush will do. And the reason that we prime our eyes is because you want to be able to have your shadows blend as easily and effortlessly as possible. And going in and priming them either with an eyeshadow primer or a concealer is really going to help make your job so much easier. And I just used my trusty Pure 4-in-1 powder in the shade Light. Alright, so I am super excited to dip into this Anastasia Prism eyeshadow set. It looks like this on the outside. It has that velvety packaging, which I don't love, but that's okay. Now, I know for a lot of people that might not be makeup artists, this might look a little bit scary, but the shades are really beautiful and they're kind of perfect for the look that I'm trying to go for. And I'll be sure to give all of my thoughts on the palette at the end, since this is a review as well. It comes with this brush, which I will test out. So one side of the brush looks like this, kind of like a shader, I would say, and then the other side is big and fluffy. So I'll go ahead and I will start out with this brush. I want to start out with my transition shade in the shade Eden, and this has like a nice warm tone to it. I'm gonna kind of like neutralize it a little bit. I'm gonna mix a little bit of this shade Parallel, and I might even go in with Unity as well, like on the brush. I want to kind of use as many shades in this palette as I can, since I'm going to be reviewing it as well. I'm definitely using my eyebrows as a map, and when I created them, I used kind of my eyeballs. I noticed her arch went a little further than mine and a little bit more pointed than mine, and the shadows stopping right at the tail of the brow. Anywhere it's a little bit harsh, the edges, I'm going back into that Unity, that beige skin tone shade, and I'm just buffing it out. There's definitely some kickback in the powder. I mean, I don't mind that. I think that the shadows are working really, really well. They're performing just as they should be. They're blending really easily. I have no complaints. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go into Obsidian, which is the shade that I just took a little bit of a chunk out of right here. It's basically black, and I'm going in very lightly with this. I'm still going to be using the fluffy side of my brush. I'm not going to get too precise with it yet. Let's see. I'm going to blend a little bit of Parallel into it, which is the shade right here. So far, these are all blending out really, really nicely for me. I'm just kind of like working on flicking it up, this look that Jordan created definitely has a point up here. I'm gonna look at the edge of the eyeshadow here, and we're gonna take it right under, and we're only taking it like a quarter of the way in. I do feel like there's like this weird patchy area right here. I'm not sure what that's about. Go into this shade right here, Saturn. I'm kind of like playing with all of the mattes in this palette right here, the Saturn. Oops. I'm just gonna kind of see how that warms everything up, maybe smooths everything out. I'm just kind of connecting everything from the bottom to the top. So far I've liked all of the shades. Obsidian I feel like is not my favorite. It's been a little bit difficult to work with. It's not terrible though. So now I've gone in to Parallel, that brown, that chocolatey brown shade again. And I'm just warming everything up. Go back into Eden with a little bit of a smaller, I need a little bit more precision. So I am going to grab, I don't even know what brand this is. I think I got this in an Ipsy bag. It's INSPR and it's the 282 Eye Fluff brush. It just kind of comes up to a little bit more of a point, and it's nice for blending. So I'm not going in with any color right now, I'm just kind of blending. So I feel like I'm gonna go back in a little bit of Eden, which is this light corally shade. And just go right above, bring some of that warmth back in that he has in his look. Okay. So looking at Jordan's picture again for reference, and I know he used the Modern Renaissance palette for this, so I would have to assume he didn't use shimmer under her eye, but for the purpose of testing out this palette, I think we're going to. I already popped a little bit of Saturn, which is this one right here, under my lower lid. I'm gonna test out this right here. This one is called Eternal. First we'll try it dry, and then if we need to go in and wet it a bit, we can do that as well. Let's try fingertip. Let me just see how that works. I like that. That's pretty. And then we're gonna fade that into Lucid, which is this shade right there. And to do that, I'm gonna go ahead and use my Morphe E36 brush. This I probably will need to get wet, but let's just see. Yeah, let's go ahead and spritz some of that with some MAC Fix Plus, making sure I blend Lucid into Eternal. And then I kind of notice in Jordan's, he brings that orangey, like kind of right to a point under the white. So I'm gonna grab an eyeliner brush to do that. Let's try my Luxie flat definer brush, the 221. And I'm gonna start off with Saturn, which is this matte shade right here. And now I'm adding a little bit more Lucid. And this brush is actually giving me better payoff. I think it's just smaller and denser, which always gives you better payoff. Now I can't really tell what he has on her lids. I don't know. I'm gonna mess around with Lure, which is the shade right here, kind of purpley. Kind of reminds me, I mean, I'm not looking at it right now, but it reminds me a little bit of Buon Fresco. And we're gonna pop Lure right on the center of our lid. I'm just making sure that we blend everything nicely together. I'm going back in with Parallel, right in the crease, kind of under Obsidian, in between those two shades. I want to marry them together nicely. No harsh lines. Now I think for fun, just because you can't really, the way that the shot was taken, you can't really see her upper lid. I just love this shade right here. It's called Dimension, and I want to see how that looks popped on the center of the lid. Now I'm gonna use my finger since I liked that with Eternal. It's pretty. And I just went back into Obsidian, darken it up a little bit. I'm gonna connect that up here. And sometimes I like to do this with my shadow before I go in with eyeliner because it gives me like a little map for my eyeliner. It's much easier to fix eyeshadow than smudge-proof, waterproof, whatever you're gonna be using. And go ahead and clean up with a makeup wipe. What you wanna do is look at where you want the point to end. I'm thinking like right here, so I'm gonna start at the top and then just kind of relax my eye and drag it down. And then just make sure you're even on the other side. All right, now kind of blend that out so it's not like, so I'm just going in with this shader side of the brush from the palette, and I'm just gonna go like back and forth. All right, let's go ahead and do some eyeliner. I'm gonna use my Kat Von D eyeliner in the shade Trooper. This is her tattoo liner, which I feel like is really nice for precision. I always start at the middle of my lash line. Now use your pinky and rest it. And then it looks like he just kind of like brings it to that point and just brings it over just a little bit. So I want you guys to be able to see how I do this. See that? And do the same thing on this side. Some Obsidian, do some MAC Fix Plus just to give it a little bit more of that liner effect. And I'm just going to take it right up under my lash line, ever so slightly, connecting it to that upper lid. I don't know if you guys can see the difference that that gave, the effect of the overall look. But I like it. All right, I'm going in with Obsidian. I want to see what we can do with this bad boy anyway. That's nice. Yeah, Obsidian works really great for tight lining. I'm just gonna go ahead and do some top lashes with mascara now since I'm gonna go back in with some concealer and do the rest of my face makeup. I'm using the L'Oreal Lash Paradise mascara. Okay, I wasn't planning on filming this part, but I just wanted you guys to see the difference that using the concealer makes. I also did go back in with a little bit of a white shade and go into the corner of my eyes because I felt like I wasn't getting enough of a pop. So I did do that too, but let me show you guys how I conceal and how that really just cleans up and gives the whole effect to that eye look that you're going for. So I just put a little bit of my Shape Tape on my hand and I'm just going in with a teeny tiny concealer brush. Don't know which one this is, but it's about this size. And I'm just gonna go in underneath and clean up. And what we wanna focus on is right here, kind of curving the brush, making sure you're even on both sides. If you need to pause and grab your beauty blender just to blend out what you have, this is my lemon drop. And this is where you have to, just be careful that you don't disrupt your eyeshadow. That's why I try to do as much as I can with the concealer brush and then blend it out from there. I'm just, dragging down the concealer down your face. And if you have any darkness, go in, spot check that. You don't need a lot, especially with Shape Tape, because there's a ton of coverage in that product. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead, fine tune, finish off the mascara and the look, and I will be right back. Okay guys, well here is the finished look. I wanna give you guys some thoughts on the palette overall. There was only one color, one shade that I had issues with, and that was Obsidian, but everything else blended really nicely. And I think I'm gonna get a lot of use. I think you can do everyday looks. I think that you can play around with some of these more vibrant colors and that you really will get a lot of bang for your buck with this palette. So in the end, I would definitely recommend it. That concludes this tutorial. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you haven't checked out Jordan Liberty, you absolutely should. I'm gonna go ahead and link his YouTube channel and other social media in the description box down below. He's awesome. He is having his last round of chemo at the end of this week. Definitely keep thinking of him, keep him in your prayers. This is his second time fighting cancer, and I know that he's gonna pull through. If you enjoyed this tutorial / review, please give me a thumbs up and like it, and be sure to subscribe to my channel before leaving. And if you want to get notifications, you can hit that notification bell as well. Thank you so much, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.